Hi, okay, I'll just be 1 second, but this is part 2 of my summation of 2020. I never filmed an intro for this video or part 2 because I didn't expect to put it into 2 parts, but here we are. So I think we're either on June or July, sometime in the summer when things start changing into college. So yeah, let's just get to it. Hope you enjoy, and I guess roll the intro now. June 2020, also known as Summer Crash. June was the last time I ever competed in a speech and debate tournament, which again felt a lot less monumental when it's happening over a computer screen you literally use for everything, and not happening in, I think it was Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes, it was Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's been a while. I prepped really hard and I made it to octas. Before I knew that I broke out of preliminary rounds to octa finals, me and my sister decided to get coffee. And it was on that coffee run where I got into my first car crash. I was just sitting in the middle lane. This car, I'll probably do like a really detailed description here with my artistry. We were just sitting in the middle lane, the car swerved into us. Okay, that's not cool, right? And then they tried to do a hit and run and we're like, that's really not cool. Thankfully, we had some kind people make sure we were okay. We got everything figured out with the police officer, but our car was pretty much totaled and we still drove it back home. I don't know if that speaks to my skills as a driver or just bad timing about going out. But yeah, so that was an experience. And then what else happened in June? And then I dropped into octas following the car crash. So it was like a literal crash and then a crash out of the tournament. I was just happy that thankfully me and my sister weren't injured in significant ways. And also in June, I quit my job. I know I have not brought up my job until this point, but I was working as a restaurant host at a local restaurant since I think end of April or beginning of May. And then I was just like, no, I'm good. Like, we're gonna go to Georgetown and I won't have time and all of that. And that was June. July 2020, no more high school at last. In July, I first actually want to mention I met 2 really good friends at Georgetown. I met Skeeter and Andrew, really good people to me even up until now, which is why I feel the need to mention them. Just really appreciate them and really glad that even in July, where I had already reached out to a lot of people up to that point, I was just like doing one last round of reaching out and I found them, and that was really good and meaningful to me. Okay, end of July. So graduated, got out of high school, and then got my braces off. I think the following 2 days. Been wearing my retainer ever since, as I should. I also thought Georgia was gonna let freshmen back because they had a housing Zoom for us the day before they said that they weren't going to let us back. And that was disappointing, but I understand where they were coming from a health perspective. They want to keep the interest of the health of the community, and they're trying their best. August 2020, new beginnings for real. May, that was new beginnings kinda, now it's August, new beginnings for real. August was my first actual introduction to Georgetown. I was able to participate in first year orientation to community involvement, or FOSI, and that was a really great week of just so much deep reflection and so much good energy around social justice that made me really even more passionate about it and like what it meant and how I could start taking more actions. And I hope that I've started to do that with the work I'm doing now. After FOSI, classes started, which was not as fun as FOSI, but it got into a pretty smooth start. I took a pro seminar, Chinese, a writing class, map of the modern world, as all SFS people have to do. Also did the lab version of map of the modern world, and I feel like there was one more. Oh, and micros. I enjoyed all my classes. Of course there were struggles, but I understand why all of those contributed to progressing my education, which I think is all you could really hope for, or at least the bare minimum. And I was obsessed with ice cream. I think that's when Blackpink and Selena's song came out, and I was just blasting that every day, driving to Jenny's, which is a local ice cream shop in Ohio, and it was just crazy how much I was listening to that song and how much ice cream I was eating. All right, last 4 months, which are gonna go by really fast. September 2020, clubs. Yes, I titled an entire month clubs because that's the most important thing that happened this month. just club apps on 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 club apps. And no end in sight really until there was. And I'm very thankful now to be part of Anovo, Chinese Student Alliance, and Alexander Hamilton Society, and very thankful for all the mentorship and experiences I've gotten from there so far, and excited for more. October 2020, new beginnings. So I think August was new beginnings for real. Now October is new beginnings, because I picked up meditation, which has been super impactful. I'll plug again the meditation app that I use. And then also I decided to move to DC because I think in October, or maybe it was November, I might be getting the dates wrong, but I think I made the decision in October to move. I'm like, Georgetown's probably not gonna go back in the spring, and that's when I met my roommate, and now we're here and it's great. All right, November 2020, first break, Tea God. Honest to God, that's probably the best title in this entire video. The only notable thing in November was Thanksgiving. It was the first break we got since the beginning of school, since school started, and that was great. My family cooked. I cooked a lot. I cooked stuffing and mashed potatoes and stuffing. So definitely felt good. It was the first Thanksgiving I contributed food to. So instead of just consuming like American society forces us to do, and then yeah, it was just great. December 2020, we made it, and this is titled Dead, because that's all December was. This was the first finals that like I really cared about, and the busiest finals I've had ever. So I was like using the Google Calendar, Google Docs, all of that, studying, and thankfully it paid off, but so much studied, and that's like when I needed meditation and coffee the most, which is probably why I do it so much now as well. And then Christmas was great. We had a 5-week winter break where my brain literally died, and then New Year's was great as well. I've used grade 2 anytime style, but New Year's was great because 2020 was obviously a very challenging year, so it just felt good to at least turn the page in one sense. And then the insurrection happened, but we're getting better, and thankfully democracy in some form still works for our country. So takeaways, it was a really crazy, not really describable year. Like you could not put a year like 2020 into one word. Even unprecedented, I feel like doesn't fully capture it. I was grateful to have accomplished a lot. Graduated high school, moved on to college, got involved, met so many cool people. But I think just getting through this year for all of us last year should make us really proud, because it was a lot, and I don't think the ramifications of what it had, especially on my year or my generation, has been fully examined at all. And I think a broader perspective is a lot of people really suffered last year and continue to suffer this year. And I recognize the privilege I have in being able to be physically, mentally, emotionally stable. And I'm always finding ways to try and give back through my classic clubs and work. And also looking up for myself, like my whole self, in terms of social aspects as well, and trying to be a good and nice person and appreciative person to all of my friends. So I hope I'm doing that. But yeah, that is my 2020. I hope that was a bit interesting to whoever's watching me, which I still think I need to get over the fact that people watch me, because I'm not gotten used to it. But I guess I just want to keep talking, and that's why I've been uploading videos. But I really do enjoy the process as much as I can. And this video was definitely not normal, and I'll get back into more interesting shots. If this video suffers, I'm not gonna be too hurt about it. I'm barely started, and there's a lot more to come. So I think this video has been really good for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you next week for new content. It could be better, it could be worse. Everyone has different opinions on it. But I post every Thursday, 11 a.m. EST, and I'll see you guys then. Stay safe, and if you're in the DC area and go to Georgetown, those are really the only 2 requirements. Let's meet up. Bye.